Business on top, PJs on the bottom, Harry's has your grooming needs covered with high-quality blades as low as $2 each. Did you hear that? I said $2 each delivered straight to your doorstep. And it's really interesting because I sometimes want to shave and sometimes I don't. I let it go. The main thing is the blade. But I know that a Harry's razor keeps you looking your best. That's what I know. And I'm telling you, I know about Harry's because I'm wild about Harry's. And listeners of my show can redeem their Harry's trial set at harrys.com/Bob. Let me say it again when my voice doesn't crack. I think I shaved too close. harrys.com/Bob, and you'll get, ready? A weighted ergonomic handle for a firm grip, 5-blade razor with a lubricating strip and a trimmer blade, rich lathering shave gel with aloe to keep your skin hydrated, and a travel blade cover to keep your razor dry and easy to grab on the go. Go to harrys.com/Bob to start shaving better today. All right, this is something that I actually really believe in. Not that I don't believe in anything else I've talked about on here, because I am a guy that I don't lie. I've been through it. I'm over 60, man. And ladies, I don't lie. I just can't do it. And that's like cool because I used to lie, but I'm not lying now. And I'm taking it all the way into this. It's what I'm talking about, which is stamps.com. All right? With stamps.com, you can print postage on demand and skip those lines and crowds at the post office. Plus, you can actually save some money with discounts that you can't even get at the post office. As if that wasn't enough, stamps.com also offers UPS services with discounts up to 62% and no UPS residential surcharges. Simply use your computer for something good. Print out official U.S. postage 24/7 for any letter, any package, any class of mail, anywhere you want to send it. And once your mail is ready, just leave it for your mail carrier, schedule a free package pickup, or drop it in a mailbox. No human contact is required. And right now, my listeners get a special offer that includes a 4-week trial plus free postage and a digital scale without any long-term commitment. Just go to stamps.com, click on the microphone at the top of the homepage, and type in Bob. That's stamps.com and enter Bob. That's B-O-B. That's stamps.com and enter Bob. When I say enter Bob, I mean type in Bob. Stay safe, my friends. Hi there. Welcome to Bob Saget's Here For You. And I wish I could fulfill that completely. I'm here for you, but we all have to be here for each other. And one of my dearest friends, Seth Green, is my guest. I don't know, my conversation with my friend that you're about to hear. And I just want you to be aware that this was recorded before the tragic death of George Floyd. And so we were basically just in frivolous quarantine survival mode. And all of the stuff that has happened that has affected us all so deeply hadn't occurred yet. And I just want you to hear it because it's just a nice thing to hear a couple friends talk. And he's such a good man and so supportive of everything that's going on right now. If you check Seth Green's Instagram, his Twitter, and his wife, Claire Grant, they're just wonderful, caring, empathetic human beings. And here comes my episode with my dear friend, Seth Green. Most people, if I ever say your name to anybody and say you're my friend, they go, "Oh my God, I love Seth Green."
Oh, really?
Yep.
That's nice.
Do you ever tell people you're my friend and then people say, "I love you, Seth Green"?
Usually someone is saying, "Oh, I love Bob Saget." I'm like, "Oh yeah, we're friends." And then they're like, "Oh, that's cool. Nice flex." And we were just refreshing the other night that I think we met before, but we officially had a conversation at the Playboy Mansion years ago. Yeah, it's funny because I've been aware of you for so long, and always thought you were cool and always thought you were funny. And I remembered I can't remember if we met about something with Philadelphia, but I told you I found this 25 to watch out of Philadelphia list that my mom had kept the clipping of, and both of us were in it. And I saw that as an adult and thought, that's so funny. So I don't remember if we met at that moment, but I always forget that you're from Philadelphia. And that's
did
something we
meet then. We did. I remember
we
this
were both
now.
Crazy young, like whatever that event was where they had all the.
But I'm a lot older than you. But they had Norman Feld, James Darren. They had all these guys, right? Was that what it was? All the Philly guys?
I don't know. I was probably like 13.
Yeah. I remember. And you didn't get in my car, right?
No, not at that point. Later. But then running into you it's hard to even explain what the Playboy Mansion was actually like. You know what I mean? Because there was both the lengthy Hollywood mythology of it, where a lot of crazy, unimaginable things actually happened, but then there was this sort of quaint, mechanical nature of all the parties that I went to, where nobody was really doing anything except for somebody who was like, this is my chance to show off, and they were kind of quickly kicked out. Everybody else was just chill. It was just like a weird, safe place to be chill that had a history of being filthy. Except for
some, the skimmer and the jacuzzi. You don't go in there.
Yeah, I never went in that water, no.
Yeah, you don't go into something called a grotto.
No, I walked into the grotto several times, but I never even took my shoes off. It always felt borderline toxic, or like highly, like they had just sprayed it with both fire and bleach recently.
It was bleached. It had the smell of Pirates of the Caribbean and condoms and lube.
Right.
So it was an odd combo. If you're over...
An intoxicating scent.
This is for over 14 people. You have to be over 14. That's right. When Seth knew all this stuff. But you were educated with adult language at a very young person.
I realized I was at the Playboy Club in New York when I was like 12 years old.
Wow.
And I found a picture of me and Dr. Ruth at a party at the Playboy Club in New York. And I was like, didn't even remember that happened.
Were you towering over her?
We were about the same size. Yeah. That was great for me. And
she's smaller now. I understand.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure she's shrunk dramatically. But she was charmed. She thought it was very funny. But I was super mature as a kid and talked about mature things. So I'd been working so young.
You were 4? Were you like 4 when you started?
7 when I got my first professional job, and then 8 when I made a movie.
I love anybody that's able to watch this. If you go to my YouTube page, which just started, has like, I haven't been on YouTube, right? But I have like other things I do. But if you see this looks like a drug deal. It looks like a scene from Ozark. I'm sitting here with a microphone. There's a guitar in frame.
Well, and the guitar is just far enough from the camera that it almost looks like a ukulele.
Right. It's tiny. Everything's miniature. Dr. Ruth is inside of it. She's right in the hole. But you're in Ozark on a phone. It really looks like you're selling meth right now to somebody.
Yeah. I got all that rock. I'll even put it in plastic bags for you. What's that? We wrap it by the pound. Yeah, that's right. 16 pounds. That's nothing. I'll get that for you by 3 o'clock. No, you got to come here. All right, I'll come to you in my plane. Do you have a lake to land on?
I think you just did a short. I think you just need to animate what you just did. It's perfect. You just have a guy on a phone.
Some content is disposable.
If you change the background, maybe you could try a whole new character.
That's funny. Do you have any requests?
Oh, sure. But I like the full stadium. It gives me a feeling of like what we want to get back to again.
Yeah. Things are great out here.
That's the weird
part. Super
excited
for the game. This ball player has a skill that I'm aware of that everyone is looking forward to seeing.
In a year and a half, it's going to be so off the chain.
Oh my God!
To be able to sit with people and not worry if someone coughs. But I think we're all going to worry when someone coughs in 2-3 years. I think it's just ingrained. I like the title. Leave that.
Thanks. Yeah, this guy's great.
I'm sorry you're just listening to audio, people. We'll try to make this more audible.
An exciting video.
It is good to have a tiger over your shoulder, except they don't belong in captivity. That's in captivity.
Yeah, I've got no fences. This one is free to roam around Santa Monica, here to get fed.
That's nice. It's nice that you have a frozen tiger.
Yeah, just incredibly calm.
You don't have any, you've never actually stuffed an animal, right?
Like taxidermy? No, that's
No,
not my thing.
no, I didn't mean that. I meant like a gerbil. This is the real. This is how we became friends.
Yeah, I kept a colony in my anus for months, but that was more of a nurturing thing.
Right. I sat on an ant farm once, and I feel bad because I should have never put that Hershey's Kiss up my butt. We'll be back right after this. No, it's too soon for a break. Too soon.
A word for our sponsors. What kind of sponsors do you have?
Right now, manscaping, because you got to keep it clean. Got insurance. I got some nice things. There's a lot of new ones coming at me right now, and then I record the spots and I enjoy it a lot because years ago I was on Stern all the time, and he was a master of it, right? So he like made Snapple a beverage, right? It was literally him, and then that was a template for how, and then a lot of great radio people over the years knew how to do it. There's a great clip on YouTube of Johnny Carson trying to sell the new sponsor, and it's a big company. I think it's Mrs. Paul's. It's fish sticks or something. And he's trying to do it. You got to look at it. Everybody just Google this. If you don't know who Johnny Carson is, you will. And it's him trying to do it. He can't do it. And it's live, and he's live to tape, and he's cracking up. And it was amazing. It just showed how great he was. He was just incredible.
Yeah. He really is.
Were you on his show? I'm sure you were.
I did. I got to do it for Radio Days. And it's terrible because, as
Radio Days, ladies and gentlemen, is a Woody Allen movie. That was a great movie. And
I loved it. It was a lot of fun.
Right. Go ahead. Sorry.
No. It's just that thing, when you're a kid or a teenager, you go through incredibly embarrassing periods. And if you're unlucky, your parent will, pull out a bunch of photographs to embarrass you anytime a friend or a prospective romance shows up at their house. And instead, I have all of my worst and most embarrassing teenage moments immortalized in some kind of national talk show that is permanently on the internet. And so,
me too. It's terrible.
You just got to take that.
But you were a kid. I was like, I don't know. I guess I was 26, 27. And there's times where I liked myself, and most of the time, do you watch yourself and all the stuff you've done?
I've gotten better about it, and I really think about it like sports footage, right? The way an athlete watches a game and they say, I see where I could have done this instead of doing that. And I really do get into a very technical place about it that's kind of separate from my own ego, because I don't really have any shame about looking stupid or appearing silly for the benefit of comedy.
Right.
But I always like to see if what is coming through on film is what I intended. Because something will seem a way in your head and you're like, oh, I'm absolutely doing this. And then you watch it back and you're like, it didn't look like I was doing that at all.
Right. Yeah. Well, okay, so I did something I've never done. I sometimes will look at, I'm only talking to friends on here or people that I have a closeness with.
Oh, yeah, I saw you did Stamos.
Yeah, and I didn't do him. I mean, that was back in the day, and I don't remember.
You can be honest.
We were both on some kind of med. I don't know what it was, but, it was late.
Poppers make you do crazy shit.
Wow. Was it amyl nitrate? Is that what that is? Why didn't they just call it anal?
I was thinking jalapeno.
It should have been anal. It should have been called anal nitrate. It was called amyl nitrate, but that's what I think anybody under 14, by the way, this might be late, but you shouldn't listen to this. Now, anybody that's watching this on YouTube, which is probably not many, because I think I have 6 people that know I have a YouTube thing, but it's my name it's YouTube with / my name, right? It says /, so it's a picture of / and then that's the thumbnail /. But I would like you to change the background, because that tiger over your shoulder, you're bleeding into it, so you're starting to look like the Tiger King. It's starting to upset me. He is just so we're going to get a new background from Seth. I didn't want to put a background on me because I have a microphone in front of my mouth, and for some reason it made it look like the side of my face had been carved out. I had an Elephant Man quality. Yeah, that's nice. That just keeps me calm.
It's beautiful, right? This is really pleasant.
Yeah, we're back to the lake in the Ozark. So what I did was...
the sun is just starting to set out here. Third cup of coffee. Hunkering down for a long night.
You got the traps laid?
Yep. There's going to be a seaplane coming in here full of militia cartel. We're gonna ambush them, murder them in the night.
You're kind of doing Jason Bateman. I mean, that is.
I haven't gotten to watch Ozark yet. Is that what the show is?
You're gonna love it.
Isn't it? It's like money laundering, right? Or do they get into?
It is. Well, your money's got to be clean. You know, you think about it with all the stuff about touching people and how we have to be safe. Money is the filthiest thing that exists.
I know. This is how we eliminate paper money. Make it all digital.
Right, but then you hand your credit card to people sometimes, and you hand your license to people sometimes. Yeah. So this is all going to change.
It's all going to get easier. It's all going to get like independently authenticated. It'll just be like a tap system or your fucking retina scan. Like we're heading towards some evolution of this that's going to remove any of the physical.
I think it's like the Avenger, the very tall, thin, good actor that has that thing in the middle of his head and can shoot light out of it. What's his name?
The Vision.
And what's the actor's name?
Paul Bettany.
God damn, is he good?
Yeah. Oh, he's a fantastic actor. He's done a ton of work outside of Marvel stuff too.
I've seen it.
He even got to play the creeper in what was it? The Tom Hanks Inferno.
Inferno.
Right. Oh Jesus Christ, Dan Brown. Da Vinci Code, isn't that?
Oh, Da Vinci Code.
So one of the sequels of those, Inferno.
Oh, the devil's anus, the devil's advocate.
Yes, absolutely.
I'll do my job.
Devil's Advocate was Pacino and.
Yeah, I know.
That's like Keanu Reeves, isn't it?
It is.
Charlize is in that. I know. I saw that movie in the theater.
Right. She's cool.
This is a great podcast.
This is the best ever. You just talk to your friend, and
I do kind of love that.
Yeah, that's what I'm enjoying. And I talk to people. I call them. There's a number up there, and I'll call people and tell them on Instagram and Twitter when I'm going to call them. And I'll call like 20 people in 3 hours and see how they're doing right now. Because wherever they are, some people are quarantined, some people are not. You know, things are changing everywhere depending on where this crazy world is right now. But everybody wants to talk to somebody, and the people that call me want to talk to me. Go figure. But this isn't about me. I have to tell everybody that I went and I hit your IMDb. I just did.
My IMDb?
I did, and it's 11 pages. And I've never seen anything like this.
Well, you know, in all fairness, it gives me credit for every episode of Robot Chicken or Family Guy and lists it as its own line.
Right.
So it seems really dramatic.
What a lot of people don't know, I mean, how many episodes of Robot Chicken have you done, which you also produce? And it's to 2019, it's 14 years of it, right?
Yeah, it's our 200th episode will air later this year, 2020.
It's insane, man, and that's amazing. Well, congratulations!
Really, thanks. It's weird.
Are you able to do it? Are you able to do it now? Are you in production still?
We are. We're well. You know, with stop motion, there's only so much that you can do before you actually have to be in the same room together. So for stuff to get built, sets or characters, or for people to be recorded, I mean, we may be able to record people from home, but right now we're just writing. And realistically, we could write an entire season, which would be about 22, 23 weeks, and just do that, and maybe do storyboards too.
But for stop motion, you don't have a guy going in and moving everything like a little bit, like Frosty the Snowman.
There's no real way to do it safely right now and respect all the advice of the governors. There's some stuff you can do, but, you know, there's like 10 different people that work on a single character or, you know, 5 people that work on a single set. And then the transfer of those materials between people, like, we just couldn't make it safe. People would have to be too close around each other, and we wouldn't be able to sterilize each of the things in between. Like we could, it would just be incredibly labor intensive and time consuming, and probably cost prohibitive as a result. So it's like better for us to wait.
Right, and waiting is going to work. I mean, we are going to go back. I mean, you know, everybody's waiting for the big wave after this wave, and then there's another wave, and then there's a flu, and then there's another thing, and then Cloverfield's coming, and then Mars Attack.
Fucking Cloverfield.
I want to meet the Mars Attack guys. You know, they're so angry. They're just so pissed. That was so brilliant.
Oh, that movie's so funny.
Okay, so tell me about your part on The Rookie.
Oh, well, you know me, man. I love to do stuff with friends of mine. That's like my favorite thing to do. And Nathan Fillion and I have known each other over 20 years. We've never worked together. And he called me and was like, "Hey, would you ever do something on The Rookie?" And I was like, "Yeah, if all my scenes were with you." And then they called me and said, "Do you want to play an unredeeming asshole?" And I was like, "That sounds hilarious."
Right.
So that was it. But my character's such a dick to Nathan the entire episode, and so Nathan and I got to play a really contentious dynamic between us. It was very fun.
God, you're so talented. Holy shit!
Oh,
I mean, I know that, but I don't think about it.
Look who's talking.
I didn't do that voice in that. That was Bruce Willis. Oh, you're not mentioning the movie? Yeah.
All this time.
But there were 5 jokes in the movie that Amy Heckerling and Neil Israel used to be married, and they made that movie. She directed it, and he wrote it. Worked on. I think they both wrote. I don't know the whole deal, but I know that I had seen them in the Beverly Center the night after I was on the Tonight Show. And I did a thing where I showed pictures of my daughter, and I had her hand was up, and you couldn't see her hand, just the sleeve. And she said, "Excuse me, have you seen my hand?" And sure enough, and they told me on the escalator, "I loved you on Tonight Show last night. That was really funny." And those jokes, 2 of them that I did on the Tonight Show, were in Look Who's Talking. So I guess it was through osmosis. I don't think they intentionally lifted it. I think it was.
It's called an homage.
It's so nice when it's fromage. It's when your career turns to cheese. Speaking of cheese, we're going to be right back. I've had a lot of problems sleeping. I'm not going to lie. I'm a comedian. I've been a comedian since I'm 17 years old. Always had a problem at night. Always had stiff necks. Always had mattress problems. Seriously, not just ones that I caused. And so I'm going to talk to you about the Helix mattress and other products that they have. Okay, this is really interesting, and I want you to listen to me carefully. If you sleep and you're on a bed, you might not be able to sleep because of today's politics, because of the news, your love life, any drama, anything that's going on in your life, drama from Entourage, anything that you think about, maybe a bird that scared you. There's nothing like being able to sleep at night and be comfortable and not wake up with anything stiff except something that matters. Now, Helix Sleep makes personalized mattresses made right here in America and shipped straight to your door with free, no-contact delivery, free returns, and a 100-night sleep trial. I'm telling you, this works. I got one for my daughter, and she loves it. There was no contact. They brought it. It was very easy for her to put it in her place. She literally loves it. It has changed her life. She's a yoga instructor, and her back has never felt better. So here's what you do. To choose a mattress, Helix made a quiz that takes us 2 minutes to complete, and it matches your body type and sleep preferences to the perfect mattress for you. And I did it. I did it online. And if you like a mattress that's really soft or firm, or you sleep on your side or your back or your stomach, or maybe you're just on your heels of your feet, or you sleep really hot, I do that because I think I'm hot. With Helix, there's a specific mattress for each and everybody's unique taste. I took the quiz, I told you, and I was matched with the model that I loved, and it was great for me, and my daughter loves hers. And I asked her all the stuff. She filled out the form. Helix mattresses really give you something that feels good, whether you like it soft, medium, or firm. I'm talking about the mattress here. And if you sleep on your side, your back, your stomach, still talking about the mattress. Or you move around all night, talking about every relationship I ever had. I'm just saying it's a great, great mattress. I'm sleeping better. My daughter's sleeping better. I fall asleep right away. That's without any medication. And you get more rested. Your partner loves you better. Your friend can crash with you and love it. If you don't know your friend, that's not good. You should know them. Just go to helixsleep.com/Bob, take their 2-minute sleep quiz, and they'll match you to a customized mattress that will give you the best sleep of your life. And right now, Helix is offering up to $200 off all mattress orders. I don't know if you heard me. Maybe you turned away for a second, but listen up. Right now, Helix is offering up to $200 off all mattress orders. That's major. That's a big deal. You're going to get up to $200 off at helixsleep.com/Bob. That was it. That was the break.
Oh, shit. That was, I mean, a satisfying break, but not very long. Like I didn't get to go to the refrigerator or go to the bathroom or anything.
No, didn't get to have a little smoke in between, get some munchies.
Well, I've got a vape, so I could theoretically smoke while we're talking.
I don't know. The president said it's not good for you, and I think he's been right about most things medical.
Yeah. From a medical standpoint, he seems to have the most authenticatable advice.
Well, I think medically, all of us are. You kids at home, you're gonna want to go to the YouTube to see this now. That was
very
fun.
Exotic photography.
You know what
People
it is?
That
I think it's just cold where you're at. So that was just air. That was the cold air coming out of your mouth.
It was just a rush of frost. Oh my!
What's your biggest labor? What do you got? Do you need to go to the doctor? I'll wait.
I don't think so. I don't think this is COVID.
You know what's adorable is Changeland. Changeland or Changeland? What do you say?
Changeland.
Changeland, because Changeland would be, I guess, it's like the Orthodox show that's on Netflix.
That's what Mac calls it, though. Mac is always like, we had such a wonderful time making Changeland.
And Mac is Macaulay Culkin, and he was a guest on my show. And
oh yeah,
and I love him to death. We had a very special time in New York that meant a lot to me. But
me
first,
too.
let's talk about Changeland real quick, because it's a labor of love for you, right? It took you some time to get it made, right?
Yeah, it's true. I mean, it took over 8 years from the time I started writing it to the time we put it out. But I also wasn't solely focused on it for that entire time. I put it down and picked it up a bunch of times.
And it's got your friends in it, Frick and Meyer, and
yeah. Well, I wanted to tell a very specific story, and I did everything I could to stack the deck in my favor with respect to telling it, and that included writing parts for several people who I knew would effortlessly portray these characters in a way that would be convincing to the audience. And so that's what I did. I cast a little Wizard of Oz with a bunch of people that I knew and some people that I just met, and then did my best to execute it.
It's a lovely movie. People should see it, and it's only a year old, so people should go. Everything is online at this point, and
it's on Hulu right now.
It's a good place, Hulu.
iTunes.
Remember when Hulu was something that happened in Hawaii?
I do.
Wait a minute, that's different. That's the Hulu.
Yeah, it was the star of the Hudsucker Proxy, for kids.
Right, and that Hudsucker Proxy, for kids that don't know, that's the Coen Brothers, and it's a great movie. Actually, it
really is.
It's Paul Newman and Tim Robbins. It's an amazing thing.
Yeah, Jennifer Jason Leigh is like a tour de force in that movie.
Yeah, she was.
I was obsessed with those guys for a period of time. When I first moved out to LA, the Beverly Center was an independent movie theater, and so I just went there to see everything, all of the Hal Hartley stuff, and especially the Coen Brothers. And Barton Fink came out, and I had already loved. It was Raising Arizona, and Raising Arizona made me go back and watch like Blood Simple, and just really got into these guys.
I did the same thing.
Oh, yeah.
Blood Simple was M. Emmett Walsh, and and I got to direct him in an episode of Mind of the Married Man, and he was
wait a second. Is that how you and Binder know each other?
Well, I met Binder when he was 17 and I was 21.
Oh, really?
Mike's the first comedian I saw at the Comedy Store in L.A.
No shit.
And we became friends and right away. And then he said, "Hey, I've got a friend in Detroit named Dave Coulier who was 19." And he said he needs and I'd met Dave at a club in Detroit called the Delta Lady on 8 Mile and Woodward. And he said, yeah, Dave needs a place to crash in L.A. Can he stay at your place? And so Dave stayed in my 1-bedroom apartment.
Oh, my goodness.
And the two of us would call Gary Shandling, and then Dave would do, like, real weird voices, and we'd have, like, 2-hour calls. It was kind of like we were already in quarantine then. We were living that way because we didn't have a life. We would go to the Comedy Store, and then we would just go to our places. So
that feels like it's his own show, like that life, that time capsule.
It's not like how they portray it on all the comedy things about what happened in the comedy years. It isn't like that because most comedians, a ton of them, when the shows are over, sometimes they'll mess around and laugh with each other, and it's good to see each other. And other times it's real serious conversation.
Have you watched Pete Holmes' show at all, Crashing?
Yeah. And I
felt like that had it really captured that community, the positives and negatives.
Yes, and because Pete's a wonderful guy, and I've been on his podcast. Have you been on there?
I did. Yeah, it was so fun. We got to do a bit on James Corden's show, and I was like, we should stay in touch. You seem like a guy that should stay in touch. And then I wound up doing his podcast. He's
a pure guy, and he's very funny. And Judd did a great job on the show. Yeah, but it was Pete. That's what Judd does for comedians. He's great that way.
He is really incredible at recognizing something powerful in an individual and then helping them realize it in their own movie or project. Like, so excellent at communicating that, like, whatever that person's greatest quality is.
Yeah, that's what he did with Trainwreck and Amy, and I'm excited to see Pete Davidson's movie.
I know, right?
I'm real excited to see that because he's a sweetheart, and he's been through a lot of shit. So let's go back to you because that's all I really care about.
All right.
Okay? So how old are you? What's the thing that would you say Austin Powers is the thing that is the biggest thing that happened to you at that in showbiz at that time in movies?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. By the time we made the third movie, it was the biggest thing I'd ever been a part of. It was so obscene and ridiculous that the third one had cameos by Tom Cruise and Steven Spielberg, Britney Spears. It's like it was almost a parody of itself.
Right.
But I had that year when Austin Powers came out on DVD and really blew up. And I was made a series regular on Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and that movie I did, Can't Hardly Wait, came out and really connected with kids. And that same year that all that happened was the first time in my life that people recognized me and knew my name beyond just like, where do I know you from? Who did you date? What school did you go to? You know what I mean? Or were you the guy on that Kodak commercial? Like it suddenly became, you're Seth Green. That was
was that 1998?
It was.
Can't Hardly Wait, because Dirty Work came out at the same time.
Yeah, I saw it in the theater.
And you saw Dirty Work in the theaters?
Yeah, dude.
Dude, I'm in love with you more every minute. I keep forgetting that. And I saw Can't Hardly Wait in the theaters because it wasn't produced by the Todd sisters?
Oh, yes. Did you
Yes, because they were interested in me doing something else, and so I went to go see Can't Hardly Wait, and then I'm watching it, and the same song that I had everybody put the same song in the movie in 1998, which was Third Eye Blind. I want something.
Right.
So that was
Semi-Charmed.
Semi-Charmed was in both movies at the same time, and I saw them within a day of each other because I wanted to see. We were breaking the same weekend. We didn't do so well because we were a boy movie with Norm Macdonald and Artie Lang and Chris Farley. I mean, he rest.
Worked for me.
I love you. And we didn't do well because it was Michael Jordan's last couple games, and MGM put on the poster coming soon. You guys had Can't Hardly Wait had an actual date on the poster.
We did all right. It never had a big open, but it lasted a long time. And then it became something that kids watched after the fact, like on cable or on video.
Well, it was a relationship movie. It wasn't like what am I thinking of? American Pie. It wasn't.
Well, it was the beginning of the resurgence of the teen comedy. Like there hadn't been anything like that in a minute, even though it was so throwback to stuff like The Breakfast Club or Pretty in Pink. And the studio wasn't confident about the audience, and so they wouldn't let us be an R. And they kind of retrofitted into a PG-13, so it was softer than it should have been. But it was.
Was there an R-rated cut?
Oh yeah. Yeah, there's an R-rated. They had the CG a bunch of. There's a moment where a character is taking a beer bong, and they had to CG a balloon in place of it. So it just was like people like holding a balloon at this party.
I had real problems because I directed Dirty Work, and we were an R-rated movie, and I tried to
a real R. we were a good R, and we had to take 6-7 minutes out, and I didn't want to do it. And I had to do it because everybody was saying, no, you can't make a comedy that's R-rated. And like 4 months later, Something About Mary came out. And I was like, guys, if we would have been R-rated, we would have crushed. And there was a scene I had to loop. Poor Norm Macdonald did not deserve to have to loop this because he goes to prison. And as he's walking away from camera, he comes out off screen. He's walking away from camera. And on his back, he's pulling his pants up and buckling them. And he's yelling at the people off camera. He goes, "You guys got a lot of nerve, you know." That was disgusting. And then he goes, you know, it was disrespectful or whatever he says. I don't know the lines exactly because I directed it. And then he goes, that and anal rape. He just mentions the anal rape, but we couldn't say anal rape. Couldn't say it. We couldn't say anal rape to keep a PG-13. So he looped into his mouth. I felt terrible about it. He goes, that and the other thing. And I don't know how and the other thing went into anal rape. But if you watch the movie, it was a wide enough shot. In a theater, it was perfect. But and we're hoping to do a sequel to it. But that's something I can't discuss. Oops.
All right, everybody. I'm talking about Harry's. That's what I'm going to talk about. I'm just wild about Harry's. And Harry's, I think, is wild about me because things get wild. You know, I'm talking grooming. I'm talking about what are we doing? And things are tough right now. But Harry's is still here to help you look your best while saving you a little cash along the way. To save money and to be groomed, that's important. Business on top, PJs on the bottom. Harry's has your grooming needs covered with high-quality blades as low as $2 each. Did you hear that? I said $2 each delivered straight to your doorstep. Right on your doorstep, blades sitting there, just $2 a piece, and they're wrapped up. It's not dangerous. You won't step on them. You're not going to cut your toe. I got stuff going on. I had my hair kind of cut, kind of, sort of. I was trying to do it myself during, social distancing, but and it's really interesting because I sometimes want to shave and sometimes I don't. I let it go. The main thing is the blade. But I know that a Harry's razor keeps you looking your best. That's what I know. And I'm telling you, I know about Harry's because I'm wild about Harry's. And you can get Harry's trial set delivered to your doorstep by going to harrys.com/Bob. Harry's is a return to the essential. It's quality, durable blades at a fair price. It's $2 a blade. I told you that. You heard me. They've cut out the middleman, not literally cut them out with the razor. They cut them out just, metaphorically, manufacturing blades in their German blade factory that's been honing precision blades for a century. That's 100 years, which means you get incredibly high-quality blades at factory direct prices. Blade refills are delivered directly to your door on your schedule with or without a subscription. And 1% in this particularly challenging time, you're going to feel better about your purchase because 1% of the proceeds are set aside for nonprofit organizations devoted to helping people provide access to better health care for men and veterans. And to help support those who need it most right now, Harry's is donating $1 million worth of shaving supplies to hospitals across the U.S. And listeners of my show can redeem their Harry's trial set at harrys.com/Bob. Let me say it again when my voice doesn't crack. I think I shaved too close. harrys.com/Bob, and you'll get, ready? A weighted ergonomic handle for a firm grip, 5-blade razor with a lubricating strip and a trimmer blade, rich lathering shave gel with aloe to keep your skin hydrated, and a travel blade cover to keep your razor dry and easy to grab on the go. Go to harrys.com/Bob to start shaving better today. You tend to surround yourself with people, and somehow you get people that are drawn to you because you're just a really kind, good person. I mean, that was my thing with you is, everybody in showbiz has different levels of who's popular in high school. It really is. It's a club that people.
I was not popular in high school.
Neither was I. So showbiz sometimes is a reenactment, of they're all look who's talking in that circle,
Yeah.
And how could you be? I had one night. I was years and years ago. I was invited to Tom Hanks's house for a birthday party for him, and I had to go do a benefit for lupus in the middle, and then I came back to the house, and as soon as I came back from the lupus benefit, I just said, "Can I have a drink?" And somebody gave me a drink, and then all of a sudden, where the bar was, I'm standing there, and I went over to see Tom, and so all of a sudden, I'm in a circle with Steven Spielberg, Tom Cruise, Bruce Springsteen, Patty. And I'm drinking tequila. Patty brings over tequila and then chocolate cake with a bunch of forks in it. And then Tom's talking about his private jet. And what am I going to interject? But I was already buzzed because I came back from the lupus benefit and wanted a drink. This is a long time ago. And then all of a sudden, Michael Keaton comes over and he goes, "How the fuck are you standing in this circle?"
Yeah.
And he says, I said, "Why don't you stand here? I could really use some support." And I said, "I just had tequila. I don't know what's going on." He says, "I'm not standing in it. Fuck that." And he walked away. It's like a name-dropping insecurity story. It was like I really should have left a few minutes earlier. But
no, you just turn to Spielberg and say, "Yeah, who let you in this circle?"
Right. Right. Who do you think you are, mister?
Steven, honestly, you're a little out of your league.
I met him when I was 21 and I won the student Oscar. You've met my nephew, Adam.
Oh, yeah.
And he had his face reconstructed, and it was because he had a genetic birth defect. And he looks fine, and he does well. He does event planning, and he does real estate. AdamSaget.com, ladies and gentlemen. But he, I'm promoting my nephew's real estate business and event planning. That's a podcast for you. Anyway, but I won the student Oscar making this 11-minute movie, and I met Steven, and he saw the movie at the award ceremony, and I was there and at the Academy, and I was 21, and he said, "I want to see your next movie." And I said, "I have it." I had made a movie that was terrible. It was called A Filmmaker's Film with Sister Sledge in it, and it was this 21-year-old making a movie called A Filmmaker's Film,
Yeah.
But it was supposed to be about an arrogant 21-year-old who thinks he's hot shit. But it turned out that's what it became. It was exactly everything about myself that I hate. And I applied for a grant to the AFI to make another movie, and then I sent them a filmmaker's film, and the person at the AFI said, "Don't let anyone see that movie, don't let anybody see a filmmaker's film." I said, "I just sent it to Steven Spielberg's office, and this is on 16 millimeter. And she said, "Get it back. Don't let him see it. It'll ruin your life. Don't let him see it. It's terrible."
Holy shit.
And so I called Steven Spielberg's office, and I said to the assistant, "I've been told my movie's terrible. Would you please?" I don't want Steven to see this movie. And the only thing that I did was funny was at the award ceremony at the Academy, they had like a little banquet room, and they had a mountain of food that was shaped like a cone, just like Devil's Tower in Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
That's funny.
So all of a sudden, because I was an idiot and strange and been doing stand-up since I was 17, I turned to Steven, and I'm 21 years old. I'm wearing a plaid vest and a taupe suit. I looked like something.
What we call an original. Yeah.
Welding glasses. I looked like it was really upsetting when I looked.
You look like you're hosting the Family Feud from the original Family Feud.
I just needed the stick mic, and it was really sad. So I said to Steven, I looked at this thing that looked like Devil's Tower, and I started doing my impression of Richard Dreyfuss, going, "Oh my God, look at this!" And I started to move the food up on the thing, and he looked at me, and at first I went, "Oh fuck, what am I doing?" But then he got what I was doing, and he laughed. And years later, I reminded him of it, and he had zero recollection, which was a good thing. It's a damn good thing.
You imagine that all of your most traumatic moments were as memorable to whoever you shared them with, and chances are they didn't even notice it happened.
No, and I've met people that go, "Do you remember when you did this?" Like, I have no idea. "Do you remember the first thing you said to me?" And I go, "No," and then it turns out to be the dirtiest possible thing a human can say. Did I say anything dirty to you when I met you?
I have no memory of that. I think I said, you actually reminded me, which tracks for me. This actually tracks, that what I said to you was something about how nobody knows that you're as dirty funny as you are. And it was me and I must have done it that inelegantly, but my whole point was to convey that I knew your comedy before Full House, before AVF. Like I was
AVF. I think that's a UTI infection. I think it's AFV, and then it was AFHV when I did it. And I always say there's no cure for that. AFHV.
AFAHV.
That's
HV, it's the HVAC.
HVAC Tony Fauci's working on.
But I had seen your Young Comedian special when I was like 15 years old. I was super into stand-up, really into comedy. Had those VHS tapes, the HBO stuff, and watched all that shit. And then when Comedy Central started and they had the original short attention span theater, and it was everybody's clips from like the 70s on. They had all of these great, 3 and 5 minute runs. I love that. I watched the shit out of it. So I was probably just trying to show off to you. I thought you were so cool.
Well, but I was looking up to you because you were, you'd been in one of the two. I think the second Austin Powers had come out.
You're well over 6 foot. There is no way you're looking up to me unless I'm like
I was in a trench.
Stairs.
Vern Troyer was towering over me. May he rest in peace. Were you close with Vern at all?
I wouldn't say that we're close, but we had what I thought was a great relationship. Like right when we met, we connected, and he was so cool and game. We just played around a lot. Like playing adversaries is always really fun, especially if you trust each other. And so I felt like we got into a great place. And then we talked a lot about music. He loved music. Oh my God. Funniest thing. I went to the anger management tour, which was 50 Cent and Eminem. And I ran into Vern at that concert. The most fucking random meetup. And we wound up on a golf cart together getting driven back to like security because there was people losing their shit. And so they put us on a golf cart and we passed by hundreds of people on the way to the parking lot. And every person that saw me and Vern on the back of this golf cart, literally everyone at the concert was smoking weed. Like everybody. It was so high everywhere. And so people are like laughing at the end of the show. And then this golf cart goes by with me and Vern on it. And every person was just like, I'm tripping, dog. Do you see that? Do you see that? Do you see what I see?
Oh, man. But it's weird. Your career is so interesting to me because it has so much. I mean, you took what was voiceover work that people would say, and you parlayed it into running. I've been to your factory, or I don't know what I would call it. It's an all-purpose studio. Yeah. It's amazing. It's amazing what you've created there. I mean, it's like Google combined with an animation studio combined with some kind of center brain. Can you control the whole valley with that office?
No, we're not that big time. We're really just a animation and production studio.
I think you're bigger than Uber. Well, right now for sure.
No, Uber's global. We just make stuff, and we're still a privately owned company, so we're essentially hand to mouth from production. You know what I'm saying? Like
I think you're bigger than Apple.
Yeah, do you want to buy some stock in our company? No. The thing that we have is an element of control to make what we want to make, and that gives us the ability to put our best effort into it. And everything that we make is something that one of the 4 partners is really passionate about and takes the lead on, and that way you get the benefit of any of our individual value on it.
So you're kind of living your dream if you think about it. I mean, I'm sure you think about it because first thing, Comic-Con is who you were as a child, as a teenager, Yeah,
that is a weird thing,
and you met Claire at Comic-Con. I mean, that's like
Claire and I bonded over all of our shared interests, both as performers and as like nerd culture enthusiasts. But Comic-Con used to be a thing that was a private pleasure, and then it became something that I didn't just attend; I had to actively participate in as a like a vendor, essentially. You know what I'm saying? Like I used to go to Comic-Con and go to panels or like walk around the floor or socialize with people that I never saw. And now I go to Comic-Con and it's like 6 full days of press opportunities and panels or signings with people or, having to go to industry-based parties and socialize with all of the work people. And it is not like a vacation event anymore.
No, it's
like
your business hat.
It's like a full part of my ongoing business. So it I don't know, it makes the whole thing a little less personal and more of an ongoing service.
I have another question.
Not that I don't enjoy it, but it is.
Right. No, but it's part of. But it's another part of your brain. It's a completely other side of the creativity and the playful, childlike quality that you have, that I still have, that I'll always have, that my dad had. You know, your parents, were you close with your parents?
Both my folks are still alive, and
but were you?
Well, my mom, from the time I was,
I didn't mean 7, to infer that they were not alive. By the way, I want
none taken. I was just clarifying.
I feel bad. But I have your mother here. I have your mom here, and if you want to see her again, I need small bills. I need to launder it in the lake behind you.
I'll take care of it. I've got a bag soaking right now. It'll be completely squeaky clean. I'll just pull it out of there, freshly bleached. No, my mom, both my parents were really supportive. My dad, when I was young, was working on his doctorate, his dissertation for his doctoral thesis, and that was like 6 or 7 years straight, where he was both working as a teacher and then spent all of his spare time trying to get certified for his doctorate. But he also took the time to, like, you know, take a break and throw a ball with me or take a bike ride or whatever. And then my mom, from the time I was 7 until I was about 16, took me almost every day from Philadelphia to New York on the trains to go to auditions, or if I was working, she would take me on location to work. You know, that included traveling all over from Montreal to Los Angeles. Like, I worked a lot, and my mom was my guardian, and there 24/7 for all of that.
And you had a good experience. It wasn't like, I need to be emancipated. I've been used as a child. I'm a trained monkey kind of thing.
No, it was always my pursuit. And I think that's the big difference, is that I was really conscious.
That makes me so happy, you know, because we both see nothing but people that lost a childhood.
Yeah. You know, you gotta actually want it yourself. And my mom was awesome to that degree, because she didn't push me into it. She just nurtured me and gave me room to do it on my own. But it always had to be what I wanted, and it was. And
you know what? We're going to take one more break, because do you have time? Do you have to? You don't have to go on the lake.
Claire's actually she's doing a class, so we won't even be able to hang out. I got nothing but time.
Oh, great.
Not that I want to, you know, who cares after a while? People are going to be really exhausted. But
this whole thing feels like a drug deal, with you on this phone, holding a phone to your mouth. This is the best. This is, to me.
Zoom in on my coordinates.
I'm tracking you. I know where you are.
Drop a pin on my location. I'll see you in the lake.
I'm going to find your iPhone right after this. All right. This is something that I actually really believe in. Not that I don't believe in anything else I've talked about on here, because I am a guy that I don't lie. I've been through it. I'm over 60, man. And ladies, I don't lie. I just can't do it. And that's like cool, because I used to lie, but I'm not lying now. And I'm taking it all the way into this. It's what I'm talking about, which is stamps.com. All right? For all of our sakes, we need to avoid crowds in any way we can right now, right? But what if you need to go to the post office? What if you need postage to send out letters and packages? Don't worry, Stamps.com is here to help, and they really do help. With Stamps.com, you can print postage on demand and skip those lines and crowds at the post office. Plus, you can actually save some money with discounts that you can't even get at the post office. As if that wasn't enough, Stamps.com also offers UPS services with discounts up to 62% and no UPS residential surcharges. All right, Stamps.com. Listen to me carefully. I know I always ask you to do this, but it's important. You get to bring all the services of the U.S. Postal Service right to your computer in the safety and comfort of your own home, office, or anywhere else you're hunkering down right now, because you don't want to go out. You don't want to go to the post office, do you? I don't think, unless you want to meet people, but I don't think so. Whether you're a small business sending invoices or an online seller shipping out products, or you're just working from home and need to mail stuff, Stamps.com can handle it all with ease. Simply use your computer for something good. Print out official U.S. postage 24/7 for any letter, any package, any class of mail, anywhere you want to send it. And once your mail is ready, just leave it for your mail carrier, schedule a free package pickup, or drop it in a mailbox. No human contact is required. Isn't that what we're all dreaming of? It's that simple. And like I said, with Stamps.com, you get great discounts too. 5 cents off every first-class stamp and up to 62% off shipping rates. Stamps.com is a no-brainer. And that's good for me because my brain's not working too good right now. It really is a no-brainer, especially now, saving you time and money and keeping you safe in these crazy times. And right now, my listeners get a special offer that includes a 4-week trial plus free postage and a digital scale without any long-term commitment. Just go to Stamps.com, click on the microphone at the top of the homepage, and type in Bob. That's Stamps.com and enter Bob. That's B-O-B. That's Stamps.com and enter Bob. When I say enter Bob, I mean type in Bob. Stay safe, my friends. How do you look at where we're headed as a culture? I mean, you're entertaining people. You're taking younger people and giving them entertainment. That's what you're doing, whether you're acting or whether you're producing or voicing or directing. But where do you see us headed is kind of, you know what I mean, as a humanity right now? I'm asking as humanity.
I love us covering the light.
Yeah, I just wanted to hear about your career, and now I want to know.
How do you feel about human goals on this planet?
I coughed. I hit the cough button because I'm worried about people.
You know, we are in a particularly dark moment where it feels like basic compassion is at a deficit, or like effective deception is shaping our culture in a mean-spirited way, putting more emphasis on like aggressively criticizing each other as opposed to helping each other. Like, it feels cynical. But also, in the midst of this pandemic, we're really watching people come together for each other. So regardless of how you feel about any of our government or any of our leaders or any of the global leadership, I'm still seeing some very reassuring things amongst people themselves.
Yeah.
And that's always where I come from, man. Like, I'm 46 now, and so I've lived through several different administrations and massive cultural shifts, like a pendulum, one side to the other, where, you know, selfish materialism is thriving over humble empathy. You know, and then the other version of that, where everyone is fighting for someone beneath them. I've seen it in both directions, and I've seen it go back and forth.
And I think it always will. Yeah, it always. And you kind of need
we
both.
Persevere.
We need both sides also because humanity is very varied, and
everybody has to stay motivated. You know, you talk about my work ethic, and it really just comes down to I've wanted to do this since I was a little kid, and every person that I saw do it effectively over any length of time, because I've had the benefit of getting to watch people over their entire career, and just being attentive to that and paying such close attention and saying, like, you're going to have ups and downs, and the only thing that's consistent is how hard you swing when you get up to bat, right? Yeah. So, like, you keep getting, if you're lucky, you keep getting shots at getting up to bat. And if you learn from whatever mistakes you make and just keep swinging, you're going to get somewhere. They're not all going to be hits, but hopefully you get to make one or two things that people like, that you feel good about.
Right. I feel that I have the same exact feeling. I think most people feel that way. You could talk to people that might feel like they're opposed to anything creative, and yet, if you sat and talked to them about it, they would get it. They wouldn't just say, "Well, you and I are of two different mindsets," or start yelling at you.
Well, that's what I love about art in general. Is I think it is both subject to interpretation, but also connective in ways that we don't even realize. I always go back to this moment. This is a crazy. I went to see that Cirque du Soleil show in Vegas. You know that show? It's the one that's in water.
I actually had diarrhea when I went to see it. I'm not kidding. And I went with Jonathan Silverman and a couple other guys, and I had to keep going to the gift shop and getting Imodium. And then the show starts, and this giant water starts squirting like a giant bidet in the middle. And I was just thinking, oh, my God, how good would that feel just to walk down there and sit on that thing and just get
my inflamed butthole.
Just my pooter, just clean it out. Maybe I could lift off the ground with water shooting up my ass, like 10 feet off the ground, and just wave to everybody. Hi.
That would be an impressive. I mean, that alone would be worth the price of admission.
Any press is good press. Go ahead.
That show, for anybody that's never seen it, is a really artistically interpretive fairy tale. Like
it's beautiful.
It's sort of without narrative, but there's an idea of a person getting lost in a fantasy and like discovering all this exotic, like outrageous new world stuff that suddenly, they become trapped in. It's really, really beautiful and very transportive. And so I was sitting like 2 seats away from a very obnoxious couple, really loud, like seemingly like rude to the waitress and like having a great time amongst themselves, but also absolutely zero consideration for anyone else around them. And I thought, oh, this is going to be a problem because these people aren't going to let anybody enjoy the show. They're going to be like making themselves the show. And then the second the show started, everyone in the place, everyone, every age, you're just hypnotized by it because it's so dutifully constructed. Everything about it is just so, and all of the performers are rigidly trained experts, and the execution of it is so sincere and technically flawless that you fucking feel it, right? And so I wound up after the show at a bar, just like one storefront down inside because it's inside the Bellagio, isn't that where it is?
I think so.
MGM maybe.
No,
anyway,
it's the Bellagio, I think.
Well, so I'm at the.
I'd look it up, but I'll probably hang up on you by mistake.
Well, that same couple come up to the same bar, and they get a drink too, and this guy is just like quiet, and I look at him and I'm like, "How you doing, man?" And he goes, "I'm good, man. How you doing?" And I go, I'm good. Didn't you, I think I saw you at that show. We just saw, and he said, yeah. Boy, that was something else, huh? And I said, yeah. And he goes, like it was just, that's really something. And I go, yeah. And I thought that was so cool because in the moment I had judged that guy, right? Like this guy and I have absolutely nothing in common.
Right.
I wasn't quite angry, but I definitely was at a place where I'm like, oh man, this guy and I have nothing in common. We can't share anything, right? And then we're sitting next to each other having had a similar experience. Now we're sharing this thing. And I thought that was so cool. It felt to me like relating to someone that I would have thought I had nothing in common with.
That's what's beautiful about art that touches everybody, no matter what their background is. I mean, you could take almost anybody and have them sit them in front of Hamilton, and
you feel it.
And you're a human being, and this is what people believed with their strong convictions. And then you look at what's happened, how the world has changed with this pandemic, and how it will always be changed. We'll never forget this. Our kids won't forget it. It's what happened.
Can you imagine?
To humanity.
Like, there's going to be a point trying to explain this to people, and it really is. This is a significant moment in history that we're living through.
And I don't want to see all the movies they're going to make about it. I just don't want to see them. There's going to be a million of them. I can't even watch the stuff that I'm watching. All I know is I know people. I have people in New York. I have 2 kids in New York. It's like, it's heartbreaking. And yet we're moving forward.
We're documented.
Yeah. I just would like...
Not for us. Like, I haven't seen any of the movies about 9/11.
Well,
I lived through it, and it was enough.
Well, it was Too Loud, Incredibly Close, which I did see because that was Tom Hanks, and I wanted to see it. And I know Pete Davidson.
Was that a doc, though?
No. Oh, you said docs. I didn't hear you.
Oh, I didn't. No, I just said I haven't seen any of it.
No. Everybody needs a doc right now. But
is that what Pete's movie is?
It's about it. It's his life story, and his dad perished in it.
Yeah.
So, but you can't really, as treacherous and horrible and unforgettable that will always be, and ingrained. And seeing the footage from that is something you can't erase. It's like that's where you can't erase that. You can't not see that again. This is something that, I mean, it's like it's the Black Plague. I mean, it's this thing that happened that some people are saying didn't happen, or it's not affecting them, so it's not happening. And we will get through it. And I am like you, positive about where we're headed, and to see how many people come together. All the sorry.
Well, I'm just saying my role is the same. Like that would, and I don't know if this sounds any way but factual, but like especially after September 11th, I realized, because I thought, oh, what can I do? I could give money, I could volunteer. There's all kinds of things that I can do. But what I really did that I saw any benefit from was continue to perform, continue to entertain. Like that. That's what I've always felt like that's my role, and so I just try to do that as best I can.
I found that early. I had no choice but to be a comedian and to want to make films, and I had no choice. I wanted to be a doctor. I did not think I was going to be a comedian, and then all of a sudden I realized, wait a minute, you've been making 8mm movies since you were 9. I made 60 movies, and they're all garbage. So I made some good claymation stuff. I did a bunch of claymation. Yeah. I did a thing.
I got to see some of this. What are you?
Oh, it's horrific. Some of it's funny.
All the better.
I did the Odyssey. I did the Cyclops, and I did all of the men out of claymation. And I would hit the Bull U camera that I had, and I'd hit one single frame and just move it a little bit.
Not the least bit ambitious. The Odyssey.
It looked non-ambitious when you saw the Play-Doh falling off, and it looked like Mr. Bill. But no one knows that reference. But it's Saturday Night Live, 1978. Look it up. But
somebody knows that reference.
Yeah, absolutely, because I do get people my age.
We could rewrite it. We could say it's a reference to Bill Murray,
who it kind of is. I mean, he was there when it happened. He was in the room where it happened. But the thing that
you got to pay Lin-Manuel some money.
He's a special one. That John Krasinski thing, that will be what people are seeing during and feeling and hearing. And that's why I'm doing this show, I call it. I mean, I feel like I'm doing radio at the very beginning is what I feel like. That's what, it's like a total reboot. What was the beginning of how do you reach people? It was freaking radio. And then we got the TV finally. Your phone's okay. Is your battery dying? Is that what you were looking at?
I was just double checking, but I got over 30%. I'll be honest.
How did you do that? Do you have like an extra pack on it?
What do you mean? How has it? I charged right before I talked to you.
You're so damn smart. Mine is plugged. I am a wire.
Oh, sweet.
I'm
in a different room. I have my computer plugged in and it's occupying the port.
Well, I know what to get you on Amazon. I don't know. Charging station. I bought 2 last night. I'm pretty excited about it.
Yeah, what do you got plugged into it?
Right now,
this is what your listeners want to hear, Bob. We should pursue this. What do you got plugged into your charger?
Right now,
charging station.
Well, it's really for Kelly. It's really for my wife because she's the one that and I hope she doesn't take offense to this. That the battery will die on her phone. She stays on it and doesn't. I always check the battery because I'm just a techno nerd. I mean, I just always want to make sure.
Well, you get alerts too. Like as it's dying, it'll give you an alert.
I don't like if there's an Amber Alert and it says and my address is listed. That I don't like that.
What? It describes your car perfectly. You're like, uh-oh.
I don't want alerts. I don't like them. But if I'm living in a world where every day there's a delivery, it's very strange.
Oh my God, I haven't gotten any. I follow APL on Instagram, and so I just see all the fucking food that he's cooking. It looks so good. I haven't gotten
you have to
delivery
get
from them yet.
Adam Perry Lang is APL and in Hollywood, and Jimmy Kimmel is.
I've eaten there a couple times in person, and it is incredible. And then, you and I were there together, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, we were.
We got to go in the meat locker.
We went into the meat locker downstairs. It's like 2,000 square feet of the best meat. Now, I know there's vegans that don't want to hear about
experience. This. Yeah, but this was really an exquisite collection.
Jeff Ross was down there with me one time because I love this restaurant and I do eat meat. I'm a you know, I have B positive blood or whatever the hell my excuse is. I'm a Taurus. I guess I eat my own kind. And, and Jeff Ross, we went down, and this is a joke that's off color. No one's going to like it, but I can't help it. And all the pieces of meat are in there and sides of beef. And he said, this is Cowschwitz, which is a very dark. Now, people take offense to that. That's not PC, but that is...
that's clever, though.
It's a clever pun about the most horrific thing that ever... One of the more horrific things that ever happened to humanity, comparing it to where you're eating. To your favorite restaurant. But Adam Perry Lang is so talented. He actually... Are you okay?
I am okay.
Seth does not have any kind of virus. He just has really good weed. But the thing is, you know, there's weed with my name on it. You know, people sell my I am sativa.
It actually bummed me out that you don't. I feel like there's a lot of things going on with your name or your face that you're not getting paid about, and it feels like you almost need to either collect it or just accept that you are culturally iconic.
I've accepted it. Because there was one guy I had to stop years ago that made a website that said Bob Saget is God. And I just said, that's just too much responsibility.
Is he collecting donations on your behalf?
This is crazy.
Right.
This is the guy that comes to see me do a show in Atlanta at a club years ago and says, flip off the camera for me. And I, like an idiot, was not savvy to what goes out virtually. And all of a sudden, the only picture of me flipping off any camera was taken by the guy that made the site, Bob Saget is God. So, and then he says, I'm not worthy to see you, Bob. And I said, you can stand up, my son. I actually said that to him. He was kneeling in front of me. He was worshiping me.
Was he in it, or was this a gag he was in on?
He was saying that and it was a bouffant hairdo from the Full House days.
Was he dangerous, though?
No, he was a sweet little guy.
He thought you guys were running a bit.
No, he just was a super fan that thought that I had a lot of love to give because he took Danny Tanner very seriously and liked me on the video show and then enjoyed my darker stuff in my stand-up.
Yeah,
and he
you're
just
in that guy's house like twice a week.
That's the thing. If you're on a TV show for a long time, and people really take you personally, it's
there's
different.
An intimacy from their side that you're not privy to. That was something I learned really early on. I got to be on the last 2 episodes of Facts of Life. Got to hang out a bit with Lisa Welchel and those girls, but especially Lisa because all our scenes were together. And it was just really interesting because she'd been at it for so long. I got to hear her perspective on all of those angles. She's a really impressive lady. But that was one of the things that she said was that there is an intimacy that people imply because you're in their house once a week and they feel an ownership about you that you're unprepared for.
Yeah. I mean, people tell me, you know what my wife and I did while you were on? You know, I don't tell me, please. I hope you weren't looking at my face, sir. I just give me.
I gave you a virtual high five.
I fist bumped you on that video show because that nut hit made my day.
I freeze framed on you like this, and I imagined that it was for me.
I drew a happy face on my thumb and showed it to the TV. I don't know why we go Southern. That's rude because I
just followed you. I yes-anded you.
Yes, and. Well, I just love you.
I love you back.
No, I mean I really love you. I mean I'm done with Kelly. This is it. This is
over. Look,
it's time.
I'm sure Claire will be okay with it. I think that we should just follow through.
I mean, your background is basically like it looks like Deliverance behind you.
This is the actual set from Brokeback Mountain.
You complete me and don't you quit me and Brokeback.
I can't quit you.
No, you can't. But
I'll never quit you.
You should have been there for me. You were my brother. Then I do a reference from a 50s movie and a play.
You just take it elsewhere. Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
We race for pink slips at dawn.
You got body bags in that lake behind you there.
Yeah, these are actually Trump brand body bags.
Oh, that's nice. I didn't know he was coming out with merch.
Oh my gosh, yes. No, Ivanka's got an excellent line of products that are perfectly timed for this pandemic.
I just don't know. I can't even think about what it's going to be. Fascinating to watch these next years unfold. No matter what happens, this is definitely a turning point in history, and we've also watched the Earth clean itself by itself, just like the human body would. How the blood replenishes, how oxygen can replenish, unless it's hit by a virus. But it's weird that something so negative has happened to humanity, but at the same time, by humanity taking a hiatus, which is very painful for very many people and very, very hard. You know, the air is clearer. There's the fish are happier, and but a lot of people are hurting. It's really weird. Can we do all this? Can't people be working with robots on electric stuff, on more robot cars and stuff, so that we can?
I think a lot of things are going to change from this. Well, and we'll see what's permanent and what we revert to. But you know, it is. I don't know. I think it's a time where anyone is trying to find positives in it, because it is so overwhelmingly intense. And this is like somebody, I forget how, it might have been my therapist. We're talking about just, this is a trauma that we're living through. Yeah. Like we're actually living through, and it hasn't even completed to the point that we can start to assess the long-term damage.
It's not behind us yet.
And what this is going to, you know, it's like you have a grandma who has a basement full of canned goods because they lived through scarcity of food.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, and absolutely. Mine were in the Great Depression. So, you know.
Yeah, right. So you never give up that sense of like, I'm not going to get caught unawares. I don't know. We'll see what comes. We honestly can't even predict it.
I think we're going to fail upward. I think we've got a lot of pain coming out of it. We got a lot of hurt. But, you know, it's really sad, the loss of life and the danger and the sickness. And then people making the wrong call and people not rising to their highest self or seeing the truth. We don't really know what the truth is. We can't handle the truth. We don't even know. We don't even know how John F. Kennedy died. You know, we don't know anything. I mean, we don't know.
I think it was cancer.
It was a hemorrhoid that popped.
He had a tumor. An ill-timed and then they couldn't do an autopsy because there weren't nothing. That tumor exploded. It's one of those exploding tumors.
And Oswald was returning a book that he'd read.
Oswald was a patsy. He said it out loud. He just liked guns and newspapers.
And he wanted to protect the book depository because it was under siege. People were stealing books.
People were talking about burning books. He said literature is the way. What is this bit?
This is a terrible bit. It's terrible.
No, this is what people. This is the pull quote. Honestly.
Well, this is from me.
This is your Instagram preview. It's this part of the
God, no!
Right here.
I don't want to lose any of the country with this.
Well, this is people's incentive to listen to the episode right now. You and I are talking about how fucking great this conversation has been. Like, I can't believe it, Bob. We've known each other a long time, and this is probably the most hilarious and informative conversation we've ever had.
I think
that's your Instagram preview.
Well, but I just wish we hadn't done Southern voices throughout. That's the bad part. That's kind of
you can start this anytime. Like, you don't have to go back.
No, I'm just going to
start with exact. Here, no, we should do it. We should actually stage it. What's it? Because what do they have to be?
No,
like
this
30
is
seconds?
This starts from Brokeback Mountain till now. That's it. That's the whole podcast. We've talked for 90 minutes. Is how long we've talked.
Jesus Christ!
Don't call me that. I'm just a man. But
no, you're a god. I've got a website to prove it.
He actually still has. I think if you go there, it just says how nice I am. But I think it's still up there somewhere. There was a .com. But the thing that my takeaway from talking to you is that we share something, which is to make people feel better and to give people entertainment. And I get pure satisfaction when I'm able to, and that's why stand-up's kind of always been a hard drive for me. I'll be able to do that. Now I can't right now, and I'm still booking dates. I might have to move them, but I'm booking them near the end of the year.
It's hard, man. It is tough. Like, I see people doing sets to an empty room, and it just like especially in that context, the audience is the thing. It's like you're an instrument that gets plugged into the audience. and you just playing them, to create a symphony together. Like
theaters closed down. Broadway, the West End in London, it's all closed down because you can't do collectives. And I'm booking dates, and I'm not going to go there. If I find out, if I get an antibody test and I find out that I've had it, first thing, you can get it again. Everything's all bullshit, but if I find out I'm kind of less apt to get it, maybe if that exists, I still don't want to endanger anybody and put people in a room.
Yeah.
That's why this podcast is a gift for me. I am truly, there's a real passion to why I'm doing this thing. That's why it's called what it's called. And that's why I only want to talk to my friends or people that I just love. And we share the same values kind of, which is.
From an audience perspective, that'll be like a more fun conversation to listen to. I think anyone that's going to listen to this kind of podcast just wants to hear. They just want to be a part of a very casual conversation, even though we cover some pretty dramatic territory.
Well, I think the most dramatic was the first hour of discussing your career. I think that could affect people traumatically because they didn't have.
We should make that the Instagram preview.
They don't have this IMDb. I've never seen this many credits. I mean, I don't know. I mean, there's giant movie stars that don't have any of this. There's nothing compared to what's in here. I mean, I can't
love
even believe
to do it. Is the point? I love to do it. So I've been lucky enough to do a bunch of shit. But I also hustled so hard when I was young.
Right. Well, you were selling crack, right? At nursing homes.
I was out on those mean streets of Burbank.
So what's your plan now? You're having Zoom meetings and you're out doing your thing and you're going to get everything back up and running when it's time. You guys will be ready and you just go right to it when it happens.
Yeah, we've got 3 different shows that were in physical production. And so they were sort of like a cyclical thing where they were writing at the same time that we were physically producing it. That means, and it was stop motion stuff. So it's all the stuff that's physically built. And that just sort of paused. But in that pause, all of the other work that can be done, because we'd already done all the recording. So it's the equivalent of previs, which is called an animatic. It's like a radio play of the dialogue, and then the storyboard's timed as a visual presentation. So
some people are animatics are their animation. Some shows are animatics. I mean, honestly,
pretty much. So that's what we can do. We can do writing stuff. We can do pitching stuff. We can still do editorial. We can do visual effects on things. But it's a lot of the equivalent of getting it just to the line, and then there'll be a point with every one of these projects where the only thing left to do is physically produce it.
Well, I think the takeaway for me is that it's wonderful that you're doing all this because people are going to need as much entertainment and as much laughter and weirdness and stuff to take us out of this. And that's, you look at a lot of the stuff we're binging if people are watching TV, and a lot of people are. Ratings are up and they're getting Zoom broadcasting. But I think it takes people out of it, and they really want the humor, but they also want to be informed. But people need to get a fantasy, and they need to be able to sleep at night. And you're one of these special people that will always do that for people. Always.
Thanks, man.
Well, that's who you are.
You're the same. That's why I love to come to see you.
I'm crazy about you. And we both are incredibly lucky because it makes me so happy because I love my wife so much that you love your wife so much. And when I watch you guys, it's just so damn heartwarming. And I wish that for everybody. Most people don't. There are a lot of people that aren't that fortunate. They really aren't.
It's hard fought too. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. Everybody that even before I was married, every person whose marriage lasted had that in common, that both partners were willingly contributive to the fidelity of the relationship. Like you're both trying to work shit out, and the fights are not your natural state, that any argument is just in an effort to get a deeper understanding,
or somebody's having a bad day, or they don't feel good, or they're pissed, and then you process it, and then right as soon as this is done, I'm going in the kitchen and I'm throwing beer bottles through windows. That's what I'm just going to be yelling out why the word why. I'm going to be screaming it.
And that was yesterday. Like, you're joking, but yesterday was our, like, wow. We had a total, like, literally running in circles by, like, kind of day. Like, it just
that's
felt
funny because we talked. We did a FaceTime together, all four of us, and it was like we were talking about previous days that people that are together in this quarantine time. You know, it's like a permanent roommate that you can't leave.
Yeah. It really is. And we've done a good job of giving each other space. Like, she's got this class she's in, so I'll do some work in my office. We'll stay out of each other's way.
Well, that's good. I know Kelly has probably bought a bunch on Amazon, and she also been working her ass off. She worked all day today.
We were talking about that. Did you guys get an ice cream maker?
No, but we're going to.
That little one. It's really small, and it makes ice cream in 25 minutes. That was, I don't know, man. We made ice cream and then we ate it for like 4 days
Eating
straight.
It's good if you make it and then eat it. If you make it and don't eat it, my problem is I'll leave things in the freezer and they'll have freezer burn, and it could be 2 years and I'll eat it because I had so many bachelor years that I will.
I think you know what you have to do.
You scrape off the ice, and then you just get resin of whatever it used to be. You just got to
eat it faster. Like, quit fucking around and eat the thing that you.
But then you get a brain freeze. You get a brain freeze, and then you're fucked. And that you can die from a brain freeze. You can die from eating ice cream too fast.
Yeah, I've seen it.
That's the kind of information.
That's what killed Kennedy. Now we know.
That's the information.
He was eating a Slurpee.
He had a brain freeze.
He was driving down the avenue, drinking a Slurpee.
Oh my God!
And he was like, "I did it too fast.
I should have ordered sherbet. Why didn't I get the coffee cake?" I don't know why he turns into Cartman.
You know what is an actual fix for brain freeze is drinking room temperature water.
I know that.
You know that?
Yep. You can also spit straight up in the air and then swallow the Luger, and that will do it also. And then
you got that kind of skill.
And then walking outside naked on your yard in front of the kids across the street.
I mean, I think it's a respectable plan.
What I'm happy about with this entire time we've talked to each other is I let it decay.
Yeah.
We
had a high point where we should have exited. And
oh my God, it's 15 too long, but it's not changing.
Anyone who stayed for this long is not going to get rewarded by anything of value.
No, because they're stoned and they're happy and they had a great time. And
is that what you think? Is all your listeners are stoned?
No, but some are. I called one guy and he was really high, and it made me really happy. And I don't smoke.
Yeah.
I don't get high.
How did it go?
It was great. It was like 35 minutes. I don't know the final cut, but I know it'd probably be exactly what it was. He was. All I want to say is that we should do this every day.
Okay.
But I don't want to. But I'm worried about you holding a phone next to your head this long.
I'm sure we'll find a better means to do it.
I just want to say,
a one-time thing.
If anything happens because of you holding the phone next to your head, I will pay for the surgery.
What do you think? Like, this is one of those 5G conspiracies where we're going to take out a cell tower?
Well, it's not supposed to be good. I mean, they say that holding the phone next to you can make a brain tumor. I mean, what if you have it in your pocket? You can get, if it's in your pocket all day long, you can get a ball tumor,
a butt tumor. Yeah.
Or a butt tumor if you keep it.
Or a ball tumor.
If you keep your phone
more likely
in your ass. Or if you have a ball tumor, then you have ball waiting because there's another one on the other side. And if you have if you're a dealer, you have two phones and a BlackBerry and a Palm Pilot and a flip phone. I'm going to say goodbye to you and let you live your life.
Bye, pal.
And I love you.
I love you.
I love you.
Great to talk to you, man.
You too. Thanks. I'll talk to you pretty damn soon.
Okay, pal.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.
He's a really special guy, and I'm just lucky to have him as a friend. I enjoyed this very much. I hope you guys did. It went on forever. Thank you for listening and now watching this episode of Bob Saget's Here For You. You got to do a couple things. You got to, of course, you got to subscribe. I'm told to tell this because I'm a company man. And you got to review and rate it. Now, the review of it, I don't get. It's like XQ, I hate you. So don't do that. If you're a hater, just go away. But review it and rate it and do it positively because I can't take the pain anymore. And I can't block you because you deserve your opinion. But I hope you enjoyed it. And I hope you're doing okay. I'm sending you my best. And I'll be talking to you soon. Been another episode I'm here for you. All righty. All right, everybody. I'm talking about Harry's. That's what I'm going to talk about. I'm just wild about Harry's. And Harry's, I think, is wild about me because things get wild. You know, I'm talking grooming. I'm talking about what are we doing? And things are tough right now. But Harry's is still here to help you look your best while saving you a little cash along the way. To save money and to be groomed, that's important. Business on top, PJs on the bottom. Harry's has your grooming needs covered with high-quality blades as low as $2 each. Did you hear that? I said $2 each, delivered straight to your doorstep. Right on your doorstep, blades sitting there, just $2 a piece, and they're wrapped up. It's not dangerous. You won't step on them. You're not going to cut your toe. I got stuff going on. I had my hair kind of cut, sort of. I was trying to do it myself during, social distancing, but and it's really interesting because I sometimes want to shave and sometimes I don't. I let it go. The main thing is the blade. But I know that a Harry's razor keeps you looking your best. That's what I know. And I'm telling you, I know about Harry's because I'm wild about Harry's. And you can get Harry's trial set delivered to your doorstep by going to harrys.com/Bob. Harry's is a return to the essential. It's quality, durable blades at a fair price. It's $2 a blade. I told you that. You heard me. They've cut out the middleman, not literally cut him out with the razor. They cut him out just, metaphorically, manufacturing blades in their German blade factory that's been honing precision blades for a century. That's 100 years, which means you get incredibly high-quality blades at factory direct prices. Blade refills are delivered directly to your door on your schedule with or without a subscription. And 1% in this particularly challenging time, you're going to feel better about your purchase because 1% of the proceeds are set aside for nonprofit organizations devoted to helping people provide access to better health care for men and veterans. And to help support those who need it most right now, Harry's is donating $1 million worth of shaving supplies to hospitals across the U.S. And listeners of my show can redeem their Harry's trial set at harrys.com/Bob. Let me say it again when my voice doesn't crack. I think I shaved too close. harrys.com/Bob, and you'll get, ready? A weighted ergonomic handle for a firm grip, 5-blade razor with a lubricating strip and a trimmer blade, rich lathering shave gel with aloe to keep your skin hydrated, and a travel blade cover to keep your razor dry and easy to grab on the go. Go to harrys.com/Bob to start shaving better today.